say and do, tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you. Wickle, wickle, what's up, everybody?
Hello.
I was gonna do air horns, but I think it's too hard. And that is why I hate you. Wah, wah, wah.
I hate that.
Everybody,
Good morning, afternoon,
it's one of the
evening.
It's one of the most annoying things anybody can do in anything.
Well,
Especially-
next to DJ Khaled or Jason Derulo.
or any performer, musical performer, just yelling their name in their song is horrible. It's
So-
definitely top of the list.
So my daughter likes this group called Blackpink. It's like a Korean, like, kind of synthy, cool pop band of girls, and they say Blackpink in like every song. It's like, we know who you are. We know who you are.
They want to make sure you know they're branding themselves in every song in case that's the first time you've ever heard one of their songs. They want to
You know
make
what?
sure you know.
It does work in reverse because I guess most of them went solo, and the only way I can tell that it's a solo song is the sheer fact that they don't say the name Blackpink.
What's the deal with didn't BTS like have to quit because they had to do military service or some shit?
I don't know. I don't know anything about BTS. Oh, sorry. Nom, 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 nom.
Num 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 num.
I don't know anything about BTS except for the fact that they exist or existed, and they were really popular.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, at a certain age in Korea, I think you have to join the military. So
Right, that's what it is. I feel like
Yeah.
I read that they had to basically put their music career on hold because they had mandatory military service they had to go
it's
to.
like 2 years or something like that.
Which is kind of funny to me because it just doesn't seem like something, Elvis had to do it. Elvis. I don't know if Elvis is it conscripted? Is that the word?
Conscripted
Or drafted?
or drafted, yeah.
I don't know if Elvis was forced to or if he made the decision to, but it's the same thing. Like, he was a big music star, and then like I can't think of that. It's just such a weird thing to think of happening these days.
I mean, they tried to get Muhammad Ali too.
Right.
So I mean, drafting
like-
and all that stuff.
For that to happen nowadays, it's just weird to think about like a world famous super group, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you can't be famous anymore. You got to come do your military service."
I mean, I can believe it for Korea.
I'm not
I
even
mean-
saying it's a bad thing.
No. I mean, it's believable for Korea. I mean, they literally have a wall that a line that separates South Korea and North Korea, and they like have people on each side, and if somebody crosses it, they blast them. So, I mean, I can believe
very
that.
Yeah, I guess
No matter who you are.
You make a good point. It's a different part of the world, different culture, different everything. So it's just funny to think about the idea.
Absolutely.
I don't know anything about them either, other than I thought I saw something about that recently, and I thought it was interesting.
Huh.
I was watching something about. So we were talking about Madam Web on the last episode.
Mm.
I saw something, a video. I don't know if it was a recap video or what I watched the other night, but apparently, like, it was basically saying that they don't have powers, like, for basically the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Until
at the very end, they get
sorry.
powers. And then
The
they're
very-
like, "Oh, next movie, next movie's gonna be dope."
So apparently, this movie starts with it's not literally, but it starts with So I know you're wondering how we got in this position, kind of where it starts with them doing cool
With the
shit,
record scratch.
and then it like flashback to.
So
And so
all
it's
those
like, oh.
costumes and shit and like all the cool shit isn't even in the fucking movie.
Nope.
They're just like,
nope.
and now they're not. I'm sure they won't make a sequel since it did terribly. So that's such a fucking cop out because in the trailer and stuff, that's what they show. They show the costumes and like all the cool
Mhm.
shit, and apparently that's not the movie at all.
What's really
It's
kind of
so
messed
fucked
up
up.
is it reminds me of the show Heroes, where you spent like seasons waiting for these characters to become heroes, and they just never do.
Yeah, I never watched Heroes, but I know that was that was the issue with the show. Well, you know how it's one of those things where I think with TV, the writers don't know how long they have, or how many
Yeah.
seasons, and they're not sure how to fill the seasons, and like unless it's one of those shows where they have a plan going in, like Breaking Bad and like better like Vince Gilligan shows, like where he kind of, from what I understand, he knows he's got the arc, everything that's going to happen kind of in his head before they start doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you've kind of got that planned out and you're just kind of each season you're just like, all right, well, what are we going to do? And like, well, maybe it's a little too early for them to, actually become heroes. We want to milk a few more seasons out of this first, and then we could get people interested in season 5 when the show's starting to die down a little bit. It'll be a nice little burst of energy, and then it just gets fucked up.
Yeah, it just never happens.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh man,
We landed on the moon, man.
Did we?
We did. We landed something on the moon. I don't get what the big deal is. It's like it's not people. It's like a robot or something. And
we did that on Mars, which is kind of more.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, didn't we landed like a little robot that's been fucking?
Yeah, the robot I think just recently passed away.
Yeah, we had a robot just fucking jamming around on Mars for years, and now we're like, yay, we landed something on the moon. It's like, wait. That's not that big of a deal. We had a fucking thing running around Mars. That's way more. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's okay for transparency that like, hey, just so you know, your money's going to the moon.
Yeah, here it is. It's Intuitive Machines lands on moon in nail-biting descent of private Odysseus. It's a spacecraft.
Intuitive Machine.
That's the name of the company.
Oh, okay.
Odysseus moon mission. So yeah.
So it's a privateer vessel that went to the moon.
They just landed another fucking robot, and this doesn't even look like a cool robot like the fucking rover. It just looks like a little. It looks like a little. I don't know what to say. It's like a little. It's not a tripod because it's got like 8 legs, but it's just like a little tube sitting on a bunch of legs. Yeah. like I'm just like. Wait, they landed a little fucking can on the moon?
It's Syndrome's like robot from the Incredibles.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Like, you guys landed a little can on the moon. I thought, why are we so excited? We landed a fucking little car on Mars, and that shit ran around and was like collecting fucking. It's
going around for a while, yeah,
taking pictures and like that's dope. A can sitting on the moon isn't that dope to me. Unless they were gonna. Like, here's what I want them to do. Put something on the moon and then like live stream it and like have it bring us to where we landed on the moon in the 60s and be like, look, motherfuckers, see, we actually did land here, you fucking assholes.
I still don't know why we haven't just decided we're just going to start building space stations at this, like real space stations.
I don't know.
Might as well just do it. Mess up our oceans. Well, come on, let's do that.
Now that I think about it, the moon landing was already proven because they left like a reflective surface, some sort of reflector on the moon where you can hit it with a laser and get the laser to bounce back to you as verification that they were on the moon. Like that was their proof. Like you could shoot a laser at this thing on the moon and it'll bounce back to you. So that was their way of like being showing proof that they were there. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, I want fucking bases in space. I want a space base.
We might as well just start doing that.
I would go live in a space base.
Space base.
Okay. What's more terrifying, the vastness of space or the ocean? And when I say the vastness of space, let's say you're in orbit. You're not like just floating in free space. So it's kind of like being in the ocean. Like you're still on Earth, but you're in this big void. Or you're floating over the Earth in space.
They're both equally terrifying.
But if you had to pick one,
I have less of a chance of being eaten by something if I'm in space.
That's a good point.
And I would say that the ocean is way more terrifying.
And also, if you're just floating in space in orbit, I'm assuming you've got like somebody around to like, you got like a lifeline back to some ship or something that's going to have provisions on it. And if you're just sitting in the middle of the ocean, you're just in the middle of the ocean. On a boat or whatever.
You're at the mercy of the wind, the sun, and the water.
Just hope you can get back to land.
I'm good. I don't even want to be on a cruise in the middle of the ocean.
Hundreds of millions of dollars committed to getting you to where you are in space. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like maybe one day I can afford the dick rocket and go up with Jeff.
If I believed in past lives, I think that I was on a pirate ship.
You think,
and that's where my hate of the oceans come from. I definitely wasn't like a pirate, and if I was, it wasn't by choice.
Have we talked about this, that you hate the ocean? I
What?
don't know if we've ever
Oh,
discussed this.
I don't know if I've discussed it on the show, but
Oh, I'm
I
terrified of the
hate
ocean.
large bodies of water.
Yeah, the
I,
ocean's
I
the
hate
most
it.
terrifying thing in the world to me. I can't stand the thought of the ocean. Like, I have nightmares about being in the ocean. There's
Mm,
like, it's not even just the vastness and the solitude of just being in the middle of the ocean. It's like everything under you goes down for fucking miles, and we don't know what half the shit's in there. And there's
hmm
fucking whales in there. They're huge. Have you ever been to the Museum of Natural History?
Yes, whales actually don't scare me. They
Oh,
are terrifying. Don't get
whales
me
terrifying.
wrong, but they do not scare me.
The first time I went to the Museum of Natural History and I saw the life size whale they have hanging from the ceiling,
Mm.
I was fucking terrified. I looked at that shit and was like, oh, I was like Tina from Bob's Burgers. I was like, oh, 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 oh.
See, for me, it's like, so how swift will my death be? That's kind of the thing that terrifies me. So being like terrified of the ocean, I always think of like how fast will I die? So like drowning is not fun. I've drowned before. It's not fun. It is. I like. I know how my thought process works.
What do you mean
I'm
you've
just like,
drowned before?
so I was during a training mission in the army, and like I was not a really good swimmer at all,
Okay.
and my soldier was
Well,
worse
I
than
mean,
I was. I know you're gonna make the joke. I was waiting for it.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I'm a pretty good swimmer now. Like I still need work with treading water, but I can get from point A to point B without struggling.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not good at treading water either, but same thing. I get once I realized you can lay on your back and just very slowly kick and not sink. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm good. Like I'm not gonna
I'm
drown
not gonna exert all this energy.
as long as I know if I fell into a body of water, all I gotta do is lay on my back and just slowly kick. I'll be fine. I was like, okay, I'm good.
All right. To give the visual, so there was three specialists and a private first class. Specialists over private first class.
Okay,
I was one of the specialists. The third specialist became a sergeant. This guy was like a specialist for years and finally became a sergeant, and it went straight to his head almost instantaneously. And so he told us that we need to meet him and my soldiers because the other specialist was behind me and I kind of commanded them.
okay.
And he told me that, oh well, we need to start a swimming exercise because what if you like your parachute lands in the water, blah 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 blah. So and since there was the sergeant was a white guy, myself and the other specialists, two black guys, and then an Asian girl. She was a
Woman,
mermaid. She was
woman.
a. I say she's a girl because she was really young. She was
I'm
like
just kidding.
19.
I'm just
She
kidding.
was really young in comparison to us.
I'm just kidding.
Which, funny enough, she was married first, but whatever. Um, so she was a mermaid, like she with boots on, everything. She just swam like it was nothing. And so
Was she like on swim team in high school or something? Or
I never
you don't
I
know?
never thought to ask because of this situation.
Yeah.
So our sergeant told her to help, like she would work with me since I know how to swim initially. Like I could swim, I could struggle my way from one end of the pool to the other. The other the other specialist could not swim at all. Like soon as he touched water, he started punching it and just sank.
Yeah, that's
Like
here's
it's just
somebody told him that. Somebody was like, "So here's the how you swim, okay?" He was like, "Guys, I don't know how to swim. I don't know what to do." And they're like, "All right, look, it's really easy. Once you fall in, just punch the water. Just punch it as hard as you can.
just
And the
punch as
water will
hard as you
fight
can.
back. The water will fight back and basically keep you afloat."
Well, that's exactly what it looked like. Like he punched. He did the whole cartoony like inflate his cheeks thing and was just punching at the water. So and for me, like before I joined the army, I was really fat, so swimming wasn't that hard. But then when I got into the army, even though I thought I was fat, I was actually really lean muscle. So I wasn't used to the way my body was anymore
Okay.
when it dealt with water. So she told me, okay, what you're gonna do, since we're in the deep end, you're gonna let go of the side, you're gonna push a little bit, then you're gonna blow all the air out of your body and go straight to the bottom. hit the bottom and kick off and swim to the surface.
Ooh, yeah, I don't like the idea.
That's what she told me to do.
Okay.
I went, okay. I did it, took my breath. I went under. I kept going. Then I stopped.
Like you didn't get to the bottom?
I didn't get to the bottom.
You just
So
kind of floated?
I just floated, but I was like, okay. I could see like the silhouette of her and some other people around. I could see the ground. I'm like, okay. I tried pushing myself down because I know I can torpedo myself up if I could just touch the ground.
Right.
I was like pushing the water above my head, and I was just not moving. I was just not going anywhere.
Why not just swim back up and just be like, I did it?
So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to swim back up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I started swimming upward and not moving. I was like, oh my God, why am I not swimming? Why am I not going up?
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm doing it. And I think what I was doing is, since I was starting to panic, I was like flapping like a bird almost.
Okay, I get it. Once panic starts setting in, you're not really paying attention to what you're doing.
Exactly. And instead of swimming straight up, I was trying to reach her.
Okay.
Because I could still see her silhouette, but everything was starting to get foggy. And like it's like closing in, like you see in like movies where like the vignette starts coming in. I'm just like, okay, just keep going. Well, shit, this is a really stupid fucking way to die. Like that was my actual thought process.
It's kind of
like
I kind of like the fact that you were just clear-headed enough in the moment to just be like, this sucks. This is a way for this to go. God,
I realized this isn't the first time that I was put in a death situation where my thoughts just were clear, as in, this is dumb. This is dumb. I don't want to die like this, but this is dumb.
Yeah, but it's funny that you weren't just like, oh my God, I don't want to die. Oh no. You're just like, well, this is fucking bullshit. Man, somebody's gonna be like, oh yeah, he was just supposed to swim down and touch the bottom of the water, and then he just fucking just drowned. He just drowned. What a silly boy.
And well, that's what happened. Everything went black, and by that last second, she grabbed my hand and pulled me upward, and I like flew upward. She was talking to some guy.
Wait. So you weren't far enough down that she couldn't reach you though?
I was just like where I was, from what I think happened, according to her, because I ended up getting pneumonia after. I sucked in a bunch of water.
I bet.
But my hand was by her knee. But since, there's that shadow deformity underwater,
it's hard to tell.
I wasn't as close to her as I was.
Right.
No, I was totally further away from her than I thought. But she could, if she just reached down, she could catch me because she grabbed my fingertips. She even grabbed my whole hand. And I just kind of pulled up while she was pulling upward. No, never did. I didn't do it again until this past summer when I was kicked out of my house due to the tree.
Oh, I didn't mean swimming in general. I just meant trying to do that. Or did
I did that specifically.
You went down to the bottom of a pool, tried to touch it,
because I had to because my son being afraid of water is what made me decide, well, I can't tell him, hey little boy, go swim in the water. Dad, are you gonna do it? Like, hell no, fuck you. Nuh-uh. I'm not doing that. No, I wasn't gonna do that. So I had to like get over the fear.
Right. No, I get it.
But when I sucked in water, I was like vomiting water for like a while, and like it was like I had a fever because I like overheated it, and I'm just coughing up water.
Yeah.
And like, are you okay? And they're laughing about it. I'm like, I almost like
you're like, what
died.
The fuck are you laughing about?
You guys would have to do CPR. I was like gone for a second.
I'm surprised they didn't get to that point.
Oh, I ended up doing a PT test 3 days later, and I was running with live pneumonia. I found out the day after I had pneumonia because I was just coughing stuff up, running my 2.5 miles.
Oh, army life.
But I was just like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't like water. I hate water.
You did not swim until just this past summer.
And that happened. It was before my deployment. So, God, that was almost over. That was 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's oof.
Like,
I never liked swimming. I always, even as a child, I thought swimming was silly. I was like, we're just floating around in a tepid pool of water. And it's like, why, I don't see the fun in this at all. So like, I swam a little bit as a kid, but I didn't know how to swim until
mm,
I think I told you, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I got out of ninth grade gym class because I had broke my arm. I told you that, right?
I believe so. I vaguely remember
Yeah,
that.
I don't think I said it on the podcast, but I broke my arm the tail end of my eighth grade school year. And for the beginning of ninth grade, I wasn't allowed to participate in gym because my arm was still healing. It was such a bad break. And then
Okay,
I just kind of pushed my medical leave through the entire year. Like they
of
gave me
course.
like an extra month or two. And we're like, you really don't need it. At the doctor was like, oh, it still kind of hurts. And then
Oh, of
eventually,
course. Just milk that. I would have.
eventually, well, but eventually they were just like, no, you need to go back. And I just didn't. I went to the library and I just hung out in the library every day. And the librarians didn't give a shit because I would help with the computer stuff because they didn't know what the fuck was going on with computers. It was early,
Of course.
not early, late 90s.
Yeah, late
Internet was
90s, early
new. They
2000s.
didn't know how any of that shit worked. So I was there to help. And so they didn't care. But part of it was I didn't want to swim because I knew you had to swim in ninth grade and I did
Uh
not know
huh.
how to swim. So then I remember at one point my uncle was trying to get me to learn how to swim and he just tossed me into the pool and he thought it was hilarious. He was just like, oh, I'll teach you how to swim. And he threw me in the pool and we were at like a party or something. And I was just like so embarrassed. I got out and I just sat in the car like the entire time we were there until my mom came and we were ready to leave. I was so mad.
Wow.
I was so embarrassed. But anyway, and then after ninth grade that summer, I was like, well, fuck, I have to swim next year. I better learn. So I was at my aunt lives in the fucking Long Island. You know, she lives in the ritzy part of of Long Island. She had a big in-ground pool. So I stayed with her for a week and I literally just got in the pool and just kept practicing until I learned how to swim so that I could do it in 10th grade and not be embarrassed that I was in 10th grade and couldn't swim.
Punching water.
Punch in the water. Um, I still was bad. I remember every time we had to dive because I still to this day can't dive. I don't know how to
You
dive into
just
the
smack
water.
it.
I just kind of like, it's basically just like I look like a cat jumping in the water, like on all fours. Like I just kind of fall in. I don't know how to
I
dive.
never I never dove before the summer, and they have like my in-laws have a rock that they jump off of into their pool because they
Right.
had the rock built for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll try diving, not having any
Yeah.
type of.
I can't figure out how to do it. I like my body won't do it. I don't know how to do it.
Well, my upper half went in like
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Like
My
belly flop though,
but
basically.
no, my upper half pierced the water appropriately,
Okay.
but my balls did not. It was just I
I
felt
don't
the
know
smack
what it is.
against my thighs in that area, and I was like under the water squealing.
Like I guess I just can't. Like I guess if I was high enough, I could get my head and hands to go
Straight,
first.
yeah.
But trying to like when it's at a low level, I can't seem to get the angle right. I just fucking flop right on my chest and belly every
Yeah.
time.
Nope.
Yeah, that was the worst
Ah.
part of 10th grade swimming. I just remember every time they were just like, Matt, you're supposed to dive in, and I was like, I did,
What's that?
and they're like, no, you didn't.
Try again. I don't want to.
And it's funny because I was like this skinny little scrawny kid when I was in high school, so I was embarrassed of not having.
Oh
a shirt
yeah, I
and
forgot
stuff.
about that.
And now it's the opposite reason. What are you gonna do? Let's talk about kinks. We're gonna finish this conversation here.
This was a stupid conversation that you lost.
Well, this is why I didn't lose. I stopped because I was like, this is a live podcast conversation. Okay, Joaquime sends me a video, and it's funny. It's like a guy with his wife, and his wife's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go make a sandwich. You want one?" And he's like, "Yeah, but can you do it the way I like it?" And she's like, "Oh, come on." And he's like, "Please." And then the joke is she's pretending to like be a Subway employee, and he's like pretending to be a shitty customer and like not paying attention. And it's fucking funny.
It was a good video.
And like he makes her put her hands together and he puts the credit card in and he goes boop.
I'm sorry. That part did that one made me laugh
the
really
video
hard.
was funny, but I was just like, what the fuck? And you were like, don't kink shame. I was like, it's not a kink. He's just acting like an asshole. And you were like, no, it's kink. And I was like, no, they didn't have sex. It's not a kink. They didn't fuck at the end.
It does
And
not
you're
require sex.
okay, but you said it requires what?
Sexual gratification. There's a
Did
difference.
did he appear to get sexual gratification out of this? Did he come in his
Do,
pants?
that's not what sexual gratification is.
Okay, fine. I'm just was there
No,
any
that's not what it is. That's it. Literally, like serial killers don't always come when they kill somebody if they
I'm
get
just
sexual gratification
saying.
out of it.
I know. I'm just saying. Did he seem to be getting any sexual gratification out of it, or
I'm
was he
sorry, I
just being
wasn't
a
looking for
douche?
his O face in the video
Well, I was because this is
because
what
I
we're
was
talking about.
because ultimately he begged her to do this thing. What else would he do it just to be annoying? I was making
Yeah,
fun of that. That was a couple's kink. There's people who do that kind of shit all the time, role play and never finish it with a sexual anything
I
because then
don't.
they
I
end up.
example like what?
Wait, what were you gonna say first before
I was
I
just.
continue?
I just no. I do stupid shit like that all the time. It's not a kink. I'm an asshole like that all the time. Like,
Wait. So you have your wife go along with some weird inane thing where you role play essentially.
maybe not to that degree, but yeah, I have her go
That's a
along with
full
some dumb
degree.
shit.
I'm sorry. There's levels to it becoming a. I'm sorry. My son has a video going on in the background, and my ADHD is kicking in.
That's
And
okay.
I just saw Mr. Bean get splashed in the face with a bidet.
Oh, Mr. Bean.
It's not Mr. Bean. It's Man versus Bee, but it's Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, okay.
No, it is Mr.
Mr.
Bean, but it's not
Mr.
the show
Bean was
Mr.
the
Bean.
best. I loved
It
that
is
show. When I was a kid, I loved that show.
greatest mime stuff. But back to the thing. Sorry.
Yeah, so Mr. Bean's your
For
king.
instance, right? Actually, it would be a really good kink to have. Mr. Bean was the best. I don't care what anybody says.
I want you to
Have my
act.
wife
I want you to
dressed
not
up.
talk. I want you to wear this. I want you to talk really weird, and I want you to just constantly do
Mr.
silly,
Magoo your way through.
yeah, Mr. Magooey bullshit as you're walking around the house, and then we're gonna fuck.
But for instance, those people that are into like BDSM, but
Yeah.
it's more so like oh god, I hate to bring up this example because I don't understand it, and I watched a documentary on it, and I still don't understand it.
Is
Is
it what
that
you mentioned to me?
is that DDLG nonsense?
Wait, what?
It
DDLG,
DDLG. I don't look
which
it up.
stands for?
Don't look it up. I think it's called daddy daughter something or other. It's an age play kind of thing where like the partner acts like a younger age.
Oh, well, I mean,
And then people with
but
diaper
like,
fetishes,
I
those
was gonna
people don't necessarily have sex, but he gets sexual gratification out of it.
yeah, but a lot of guys like
Like
schoolgirl costumes and stuff like that. You know,
which I think is weird too.
it is
But
weird.
but it doesn't necessarily have to end in sex. Again, the diaper fetish thing. There have been guys who wear diapers and want like they hire like a nanny or somebody to basically just take care of them.
Right.
They don't do anything necessarily sexual, but they get gratification out of it.
I wonder how that comes to be.
I don't know. And that's why I like even the documentaries I watch on it, the people who are talking about it they're always pushing the narrative of it's not weird or it may be weird but it's harmless, but none of them explain where it comes from and why they feel that way.
Like again,
and I don't even think they know.
We've talked many times about like no kink shaming, like that's whatever, as long as you're not hurting anybody, whatever you want to do is cool. But yeah, I would like to know where that comes from. Like that's one thing I'm interested in. Like what makes that present itself. My wife sent me a picture of her in a diaper just the other day.
I didn't need that information.
Okay, she sent me a picture because she's a kindergarten teacher, and kids have trouble with B's and D's because they look so similar. I still fuck up sometimes when I'm writing a B or a D and put.
Oh yeah, like you have to think about which direction.
She sent me a picture of her and her co-teacher. Her co-teacher is pregnant, so it was B is for belly or baby, and then my wife had a picture of D, and she was wearing a diaper.
That is so
she was clothed otherwise.
I know. No, I get it. She's probably wearing her clothes with a diaper on the outside. I said
the same thing. I was like, what? And she was like, D is because I'm full of, and I was like, shit, that doesn't start with a D. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Yeah, I didn't need to see that picture. I didn't
Yeah,
need to
just
see
like
that, honey. I know you're
now
gonna listen to
these
this.
are things I can't
All right, then,
unsee.
honey.
You do understand this.
I'll send you a picture. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm not gonna send you a picture. She'd be so mad.
I'd be so mad.
Even though she did it in school and took a
Well,
picture.
here's the thing. I think there is a degree in which she can find embarrassment because she knows I will hold nothing back,
Yes, probably.
and that's probably what it is.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, her and her co-teacher were doing that. Oh my god, her. Oh,
But with you, she's
I could talk
comfortable because
about.
I mean you're her husband.
I could talk about her co-teacher is in this situation where it's such a fucking weird situation. She's got an adopted daughter because she was like, I'm just gonna adopt a daughter. Like I'm a single
Yeah.
woman. I'm however years old. I don't know
Oh,
what
and
her
she was eligible
yeah
as a
I
single
don't know
woman.
what her
That's
thought
crazy.
process was, but she was
Not
just
crazy
like,
as in bad. Just like
no, you're right. Like people are. It's God forbid you find a good home for a
mm-hmm.
kid. So she's now pregnant by this man, and they've only been together for like 6 months or something. It's like a really short amount of time, but like they're planning on getting married, and she wants him to adopt her daughter. And I'm in my head, I'm just like, no, this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. Like you
Yeah.
don't know. It's too
Is homie
early.
just jumping into? Well, first of all, is the co-teacher our age?
Yeah, yep.
Okay,
But in my head, I'm
that
just like,
it just seems
you
like
know,
real.
you're talking about your adopted daughter that's like 8 or so, like, and you're
Yeah.
gonna
And how long
once
she had the adopted daughter?
like that long, like long
Okay,
time.
so it's her daughter at this point.
Yeah, it's her daughter. That's what I mean. Like once you allow somebody else to adopt her, now that person has parental rights, and like
Yeah,
that's just
and
not a
you haven't known
situation I'd
him
want to.
long enough
Yeah, I would
for.
not want to put myself in that situation.
I mean, it's kind of messed up to say that it's bad enough that you've only known him 6 months and you're pregnant by him.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
No,
You
no,
know,
no. What I'm saying
I know what
is
you mean.
these are life altering decisions
Sure,
that
absolutely.
you're potentially making on a whim.
No, agreed. But like, okay, whatever. Let's leave all that aside. Whether or not that's like crazy, like you said, like just life altering decisions. But like, I don't know. Like, want to have somebody that you just fucking, haven't been with that long, adopt your
Yeah,
daughter that you've had for years,
like
and give that person parental rights. That's such a weird, awesome. But then at the same time, like, how do you approach that conversation with the guy? Like, yeah, I don't want you to adopt her. I don't know. It's just, and then apparently she's also talking about all of them change her, the baby, and the daughter all changing their names to have the same last name as the guy. And I was like, make him change his name. There's 3 of you and 1 of him. Make him change his name.
hyphenate it if you have
Or
to,
yeah, but oh man, every time I hear about that situation, I'm not gonna go into other details
yeah,
because it's more private stuff. But man, I was just like, that's a tough situation to have to fucking
very.
try to deal with.
Every just like you were going towards, personal choice and all that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but does not sound like healthy decisions are being made.
No, it's just yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in. I'm glad I'm not in any situation like that. I'm glad I've been married for fucking forever,
Mm,
and I'm not gonna have to ever deal with anything like that in my life. I got my family. I got my kids. That's
yeah.
it.
Oh, like being aged past the point where you don't have to really impress
Right.
anyone else. Like you
Yeah.
just kind of like,
I'm done. I've got
yeah,
if something happens, that's it. I'm not I'm never going to be in this situation. So,
yeah.
um yeah. I got my new mattress today too. Or
Oh yeah, how
yesterday.
was it? Oh, well, did you finally slept on? I guess you got it
Yeah, I
yesterday,
slept on
so
it
you'd be
last night.
able to slept on it.
It's very comfortable. I didn't have this giant hole where my ass is that I have to deal with every night. My old mattress literally just had this giant crater where my ass would be because I have such a big fucking ass. And it's just made the bed so uncomfortable. And then I remember like a couple weeks ago I was like, well, let's rotate the bed. And we did, and I was like, oh, we already did this. There's a big ass crater here too. So it is what it is. But yeah, I was very
The Great
happy.
O'Sullivan Canyon.
Yep, that's what I called it. Yeah, so I'm so happy to have slept on like an actual mattress for once and not felt like I was sleeping in the Grand Canyon.
No, that's good though. That's
It was
good for the spine.
it was really funny that, oh, I told you, the guy that delivered it was like adamant about he was like, "Hey, you're gonna get a survey." He's like, "You gotta give me
Oh,
a
yeah.
10. You gotta give me a 10." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Cause you gotta give me a 10, cause that's how they decide who they give the work to." And I was like, "Okay." And then like an hour later, I got a text from him. It was like, "Hey, it's just
Eh?
me again. I installed your mattress and brought everything in. You gotta give me a 10, please." He's like, "Anything less than a 10 is considered a 0 to them. So please give me a 10." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
You know what? It's really messed up because more than likely it's simply because probably people like gave him the yeah we're gonna give you a 10, buddy, and they
Oh
just
yeah.
never do it. It's sort of
Oh,
like
I
the
don't blame
surveys you
him.
get at like a restaurant or something. You're just like okay cool, and you just
No,
not do it.
I don't blame them at all, because if that's literally how
Yeah,
they're deciding what contractors they're using, and like you said, like 90% of people are probably like, yeah, okay, sure. Shit, when I call any fucking service line or anything, they're like, hey, will you be willing to take a short survey after this? And then I'm like, yeah, sure. They're like, okay, and it's like, thank you for it. Click.
click.
I don't take the survey. I'm like, I don't fucking sit here and take this fucking survey.
People will sooner leave a bad review than a good review. I think I said that in our first
Absolutely.
episode.
We've talked about
So
that
yeah,
many times. Yeah.
and just like it's so that's why I'm always so I actually do as depending on how exhaustive the initial phone call is, I will stay to take the survey. I still don't do the surveys after the restaurant thing. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
just once I get the receipt has become recyclable garbage. I don't care for it
Oh,
anymore.
absolutely. Oh, I don't know why they give you those with the receipts. Dunkin' Donuts for a while was like, "Oh, if you take it, you could win a gift card for it." And I was like, "Yeah, but I won't. I
But I
won't win the
won't. I'm
gift
just
card."
not going to do it.
I got the survey today, and I
Mm.
did it. It was just two questions. It was like, how would you rate the installation? And I was like, okay, 10. And it was like, how likely would you recommend home installation to someone else? And I did 10. And then it had a box that said like, why did you give this score? And it was AI generated. So it has this little meter next to it, and it says like low detail. And I start typing and the meter starts filling up. And then I
Oh
typed like,
wow.
he was very polite. And then like a little box pops up and it was like, think about adding additional detail. Like, how was he
Oh
polite?
my god, they're
Yeah.
integrating
It
AI
was
into
so
these.
weird. It was so weird. And I wanted to be like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna use chat. You want me to use AI? I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT to write this fucking review for me. I didn't, but I was like, you're gonna prompt me with AI.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm gonna just use AI to write my review, and it's all bullshit. Like,
You
I was
saying
so
that
irritated by the little
maybe
AI box, and it was like, you didn't quite give us enough information yet. The little meter, like, fuck you.
somebody needs to buy the rights or steal the rights to Clippy and make him a pure AI.
Clip. I would love a Clippy
The
AI.
paperclip, just make him into his ultimate form and just pure AI.
I mean, Microsoft owns Clippy, and Microsoft is a majority investor, I believe, in ChatGPT now. They should just combine the two and make Super Clippy.
Just Clippy and the ChatGPT
Clippier.
bot do the freaking Dragon Ball Z fusion dance and just
Yeah,
go ham on the internet.
Clippy has big yellow hair, big yellow Super Saiyan hair.
It's just because at this point I miss the little guy
I miss Clippy too. I don't know why they got rid of him. I mean, he could
because he
be
was annoying as shit. He was
well.
terrible. That's exactly why they got rid of him.
Yeah, but they could have made him better. They didn't have
They
to
could
just.
have. They just didn't because
They didn't have
Microsoft
to just.
doesn't know how to make things better.
I saw a thing on Twitter today. It was a screenshot, and it was Gmail said like it was a Gmail tweet that was like,
Mm-hmm.
Gmail's never going away or something like that. And then the community notes were like, Google said this about Google Stadia in 2021, and it had the link. It was like it later discontinued it in 2000. I was like, oh,
I
it's
mean,
good.
yeah,
It
and
wasn't.
also just Gmail doesn't know how to even allow you to bulk get rid of things in the mobile app. So
Oh,
I
I
don't
mean,
trust them to be able to fix anything either.
Google is spread so thin across all of their different apps that they're never going to get any of them to be at peak performance. Like even with
Never.
Google Gemini, like I know
A
everybody's
what?
Google
Is
Gemini.
that the?
That's their new AI. They renamed
Oh, that.
Bard to Gemini.
Oh, okay.
That's their new name for their AI. Even that, it's like you're not put like all your eggs aren't in that basket like ChatGPT. Well, I mean ChatGPT's got Dolly and stuff too, but it's all AI based. But like you're not putting all your eggs in that basket as a company.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Everybody, I mean, have you seen Nvidia's stock prices?
No.
Apparently Nvidia's stock is like just skyrocketing because that's what they do. They make AI chips.
Mm.
And apparently their stock is just blown up. I wish I had thought about that like a year ago and bought
I
some
found
Nvidia
myself
stock.
saying that a lot recently.
Although I
Same
don't
as you.
know, it may still be like it may still be early enough where it's just going to continue to go up and up and up. I don't know, but yeah, apparently it's been. Let me see, Nvidia stock. I'm curious now. It is so it's up 237% over the past
Wow.
year.
Past
Uh,
actual math.
and it's just in the last month it's up 33%.
Mm.
So it's just skyrocketing over the last. So anyway, might be a good idea to buy some Nvidia stock. Maybe when it dips. Right now it's at a peak. Maybe next time it takes a dip, buy some Nvidia stock. Anyway, like I ever buy stock.
Yeah, I
uh,
gave up on stock stuff a long time ago.
I still have all the crypto. I bought a bunch of crypto and then it blew up. I made a bunch of money and then I just took out my initial investment and left it. And it's like it's half of what it was, a couple years ago, but it's still decent, it's a few grand.
Yeah, I fully lost faith. I don't have enough money to even put in to make a substantial amount, let alone. And I
Yeah,
don't mean substantial. Like substantial is like even just $1,000.
right.
Like I just don't have enough to make that, so I'm not even
Well, yeah, and I mean
playing
with the
around with
way it
it.
is now, you'd have to put in a shit ton even to make $1,000 because it's not that. I mean, like I think some of it's seen like 5% growth here and there, and over the last couple of years. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about
Yeah,
crypto. I don't think I know what
no,
that's
because I think we
about.
we just kept spiraling off of kinks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crypto kink. Speaking of kinks,
Oh no, the crypto bros definitely
go,
have a kink,
going
a
back to Army hockey.
humiliation kink.
Going back. I'm bringing the whole fam to Army hockey tomorrow. After,
Oh, they're all going.
yeah, we're all gonna go
I
this
knew
time.
you and your daughter had a nice time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring everybody, and we're gonna see how it goes. I don't know how my son's gonna deal with sitting through a hockey game, but we'll see.
He's probably not going to last the whole time. He'll probably get really bored.
That's fine.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he likes hockey. I don't
We'll
know.
see how it goes. If we have to leave a little early, it's fine. It's Army. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not the
So,
Rangers.
unrelated to the rest of the stuff we talked about, but hey guys, Matt and I has actually played a round of Lethal Company.
We did. Game's fun.
For the little bit that we played, it was really fun. I played it by myself a little bit.
Yeah, we need to play it more,
Um,
and my cousin wants to play it with us too. So,
yes. I've now realized that Matt will abandon me.
no, I didn't. I
No,
did
no.
not intentionally.
I know.
I just didn't realize which way you were going, and I was like, oh, he went the other way. Oops. And now I don't
Oh
know how to
no,
find him.
no, I'm sorry. Matt won't wait for me and he'll jump off of a cliff. That's what happened.
I literally walked into the next room and was like, oh, there's like a little ledge here with like a gap between it. And I thought
Yeah.
I'd jump over it, and then I died, and I didn't have any way to tell you I was dead. And then
So
I
he
was
pressed
spectating
the
you, and I'm watching you, and I can hear you, but I couldn't do anything.
a button and the ship closed on me. Luckily I was in the ship, but it was just like
Well, I knew
closed.
you
I'm
were.
like, what the
No, I
hell
knew
is
you were in the ship though.
happening?
I was spectating,
Yeah.
and then I didn't realize until after the fact that apparently you respawn once the ship goes back in the air,
Yeah.
which I didn't know. I just quit because I was like, I don't know what to do.
So the next day I played and I found a room. I guess it auto generated a room similar to that one where there's like a little it's like broken, the gate's broken, and there's a little path like you can walk, and then there's an endless pit on the bottom.
Right. That's it.
And so there was a shadow thing behind me. I was like, oh no, 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 no. And I couldn't go back through because that's the way I came in. So I was like, I gotta get across.
Yeah.
So I go across, I jump, I make it, but I don't make it to the actual ledge. I make it to a piece of metal sticking out of the side. And then I'm like, okay, I'm readying myself to take the jump. I get jump scared, and this thing pops up like right in front of my camera, so I can't move because I guess it freezes when you look at it. And because it did that, it pushed me off.
Well, there you go. Now you know how I felt
I was like, well,
or felt.
that sucks.
Yeah, the game's
So
good. The what do they call it? Binaural,
by now I can't binaural, I think.
whatever it is.
Audio.
Binaural audio is really really dope. Like I like not only the fact that when you're farther away it's harder to hear you, but like the fact that we went in a building and all of a sudden it was echoey, and we were in a
Yeah.
cave and it like sounded a little different. Like that was fun. We definitely have to play some more because it's a fucking fun game. The only thing I could think of is we need to have like a separate way to communicate so that when I die, because I inevitably will die, I can like I guess I can just text you.
Just text me. I
Be
was
like,
about to
"Hey,
say,
I'm dead."
just text me.
Open this up.
Oh my God.
That's for the bag, but the bag.
Yeah, it's open, dude.
Oh.
He wants ham or turkey. Close the door, please. Yeah, it's oh, that turkey smells good.
Luckily enough for me, I just got hugs.
No, I want turkey. Oh, my kid just can you close the door, please? This is all staying in so people understand that we make the time to make this podcast for you, even though we have kids asking us to open turkey. Just like, yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. One of my friends sent me a message that's related to the podcast, and I believe she listens to the podcast. So we're gonna consider it mail.
Yes.
So. Once in a while, we receive some mail, and it comes to us in the mail. Sometimes we will read the mail for you. So listen, because here comes the mail. Okay. So this is from my friend Claire. She says, okay, dude, for real, help me with this one. First world problems, public pool, New York, Florida, amusement parks, etc. People stake their claim on an area, chairs, for example, while they're off doing other non-pool related things. They put towels on the chairs and then they go sleep or shop or do other things in the amusement park, etc. Is this okay? Is it okay for a certain amount of time? Is it okay if you are in the pool or pool area, but not okay if you are off doing other stuff? Is this a legit reason to be irate at selfish people? Discuss. Get back to me. Should I be livid and want to throw people's shit in the pool? So yeah. Yeah, you should be livid. That's fucking retarded. Ooh. I almost said the R word. No, I almost said the R word, and I didn't mean to. I was going to say ridiculous, but that almost killed. Oh my God, my wife would kill me.
Nope, that was you got into your feelings about it.
That's fucking ridiculous. And no, you can't fucking just put shit on a chair at a pool and then fucking like we're like Disney World. You're at a resort, right? You can't just put your shit on a fucking chair at the pool at the resort and then get on the bus and hop your ass over to fucking Epcot for the day and then be like, oh, well, when I get back, that way my chair saved it. I could go get in the pool and cool down. No, fuck you. You don't get to do that.
No, that's hyper inconsiderate.
No,
incredibly inconsiderate.
Because, okay, I only have the one experience where I went a couple years, not this past summer, the summer before, but there was a lot of fucking people at the pool and a lot of times the chairs were all full. And there was nowhere to. So it's not like there's an excess of chairs and you're reserving. Because if there was an excess of chairs, you wouldn't feel the need to reserve it in the first place. So no, you're a fucking dumb cunt if you take your shit and you lay it on the pool. And if that happens and you're hanging out and you recognize that there is nobody attending to that stuff in that chair and it does not belong to somebody that's there. Or, but better yet, if the person comes back and you see them like come walking down from the hotel or something and then go to their stuff, yeah, you have every right to go over there, grab all their shit and just throw it in the fucking pool.
Yep, turn them into pool toys.
I don't care what it is, iPhone, some other expensive accessory, I don't know, what else, fucking sunglasses that cost $800 because you're a fucking idiot. Throw that shit in the pool. Fuck them. They can suck a dick. That is a fucked up thing to do. I think if you're in the pool itself, it's okay. I think like if you're in the pool and you got your
If
shit
you're
on the
in the
pool
pool,
chair,
that's a little different.
yeah, I think that's fine.
Because I mean that's why everybody's there, and
Right.
reserving the chair when you're in the pool is one thing. Even if, and I get the only thing I could almost give it is if they had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, that's if you just walked over to the bathroom, that's one thing. We're talking about
But like,
people who are
oh
not
no,
fucking
just
on the premises.
that's sort of like people. If you can help it, let's say you have a backpack
Yep.
and you go on a bus and you take the backpack off, and instead of putting it on your lap or under you, you put it right next to you.
And take up the seat. Yeah, you're a dick.
Yeah,
You're a fucking asshole.
that you deserve to be headbutted.
Well, I mean, this kind of thing happens at like music, anything like a stage event where there's seating.
Yeah.
Too. People will put shit down on the seats. Like say it doesn't happen at the movies anymore because you basically reserve a seat now. But it used to be at the movies, people would like leave shit on the seats to save them and like go do other stuff. I think that's okay.
Mhm.
Like if you get to the movies, you got your seats, you put your jackets down so you can go get your snacks and stuff. Like that's fine. That's fine. You picked your seat out, you got to go do your little thing.
You got
If you picked your seat, you got in the pool, you wanted to go get cool off for 10 minutes, and then you want to get out of the pool and lay on the chair and tan, whatever it is you do. I don't know about that stuff because I can't tan. I just burn like a lobster.
I mean, wouldn't you tan in the seat? That's what some of these people.
But that's
do.
what I mean.
I'm
Like,
not sure.
say you wanted to go in the pool for a bit, and then you wanted to get out, and so you left your.
Oh,
stuff
I
on the
get what
seat.
you're saying. Okay, yes, I get what you're saying.
So you jumped in the pool for a little while, and now you want to get back. You left your stuff on the seat so you could get out and go sit and tan on the seat. That's fine. But if you're reserving your chair when you're just fucking off gallivanting, or even if you went to the hotel room, you're taking a fucking nap. No, fuck you. You're no longer on the premises. You are no longer a pool patron. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And if you see somebody do that, I would encourage all of you to throw their shit in the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree.
Or
I cannot disagree.
Better yet, the garbage, because then there's no proof. Then they just think somebody stole it, and then they're never gonna find it. It's just in the trash can.
I mean, this is that again. I don't understand. It's that type of person, like the person that hits you with their car, but then gets mad at you for that. Like it's just.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to our double downer episodes. You just double them down,
weird
man.
That weird brain rot. I just don't get it.
It's we need a name for it. Like they got the woke mind virus. We need a name for this, where it's just like your brain has just decayed to the point where you just don't think like a rational human. I like brain rot, but I think we need another word in there. There needs to be another.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we got to workshop that because I think we need a term for this for this type of brain rot. Anyway, thanks for the message. I don't know if you intended for me to use it on podcast. I know you listen to the podcast at least on occasion.
I'm sorry.
So, but you know what? Nobody's writing us any fucking mail, even though you guys are listening. So I'm gonna use it.
Somebody's getting upset.
I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty because I like the content. We had discussed we were going to try to release next week's topic now, so that when people listen to this, they know what we're going to talk about and can send us messages. But we didn't plan that ahead of time. We didn't plan that.
Maybe just maybe we'll talk about our topic longer.
Yes, maybe. But we didn't come up with a topic for next week yet, so that we can announce it here.
We didn't.
What if we do Woo Girls? Because we were talking about that.
Let's do Woo Girls.
All right, so next week's topic is going to be Woo Girls. So if you've got any experience with Woo Girls, send us a message. You can email podcast@atiwyhy.com. You can go on atiwyhy.com and send us an email. Or, if you're feeling really salty, you can leave us a voicemail at 929-564-4262. So write us in, let us know your experience with Woo Girls. You know what we're talking about. Those girls they just go, woo! All the time.
I need a ride.
Yeah, you know the type. I'm sure you've had a college experience or something. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and we'll get into our topic.
It's time to begin the complaining.
All right, Joaquime, do you want to introduce our topic? Because I already forgot what it was.
Sorry. Oh man. So, let's see.
I remember.
Okay.
It's insurance
as
companies.
I was getting ready to say it, I was just like, you know what? I forgot too.
Yeah,
No,
we're here to talk. We're going to talk about insurance companies this week, which is again,
yeah. This one
we
came out of we ran this like on the fly when we were kind of hanging out yesterday.
Yeah, this is this is a little different. Like we usually talk about groups of people. We started with we did the Christmas Spirit, which was our
Which was a
first
little off.
non-group episode, but we could have made that like, Christmas horrors or something like that. This is a little different because this is not a group of people specifically. I mean, it is, but it's more.
It's definitely a culture, definitely a nightmare culture.
Yeah, it's a little different. But we were
Scared
talking
the
last
crap
night.
out of me.
Well, my
That picked up
opening my
so
soda.
well in the microphone.
Or, not so seltzer. Sorry, did it? I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't think it would pick up. Sorry, folks. That was just a seltzer. Okay, so we were chatting last night because your daughter had gone to the dentist.
Yes.
And we first started talking about how fucking ridiculous it is that dental is a whole separate thing, not considered covered under medical insurance.
Nope.
I mean, we could start with the idea that insurance in general is fucking dumb, and we should just have the opportunity when we need
on
healthcare.
paper. On paper, it's like, okay, I get why. I mean, you got like it makes sense to have because we run on a money based society and whatnot.
It makes sense to have because our government doesn't provide it to us.
Yeah.
Which I think we've had the discussion on the podcast. Like, we're okay with saying, oh, yeah, we'll pay for teachers to educate our children. We'll pay for fire people to come and put out fires. We'll pay for police to make sure we're safe. But we won't pay for doctors to make sure we're healthy.
Yes.
It's the stupidest shit ever. I don't understand. Just as a broad overview, I don't understand why insurance exists, because you talk to people who are like, no, that's socialist bullshit. But again, they have no problem paying teachers to babysit their children all day. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all ridiculousness. And like they make it purposefully confusing to the average person. For a short period of time, I looked into getting into health insurance years ago. And I quit that when I found out how much money I have to sink into taking the course.
Why do you have to take a course? They should teach you. That should be training on the job.
And because it was like I was going through the veterans programs of trying to find a job. It was back when I was trying to find a job. So
it's not like just this nebulous thing. It's like, okay, you're going to save some money to learn how to do it. It's if you're going to work for an insurance company, they should teach you about insurance.
Right? Not once did they even consider it being, well, we're helping people. We all know they are not out to help people. You're supposed to be trying to make commissions.
Money. They're trying to make money.
By making it as confusing as possible.
Well, to that point.
And it was so confusing for me to learn it that I was like, I'm good.
It must be confusing because the personnel in doctors' offices have to take courses just to understand how to deal with the insurance companies, which is insane. Like, they literally have to go take a course to teach them how to work with an insurance company. But yeah, like, it doesn't make the fact that they, like you said, they go out of the way to make it so confusing, and the fact that not everybody has it is unbelievable. I don't understand how they're, and the fact that there's just no oversight. Like, they do what the fuck they want with anything.
Well, I mean, it would seem like the way the system is that it was made by a conglomerate of psychopaths.
It has to be.
Like, it really, without the oversight, with the idea of self-preservation, when the idea of it is supposed to financially preserve the people who sign up for it.
Right.
Which they don't. And then what they do and don't cover. So what set this off where we decided we want to do an episode was when I was telling Matt about like how much certain things would cost. And said insurance will only pay $400 of the like $2,500 like price. So I have to pay the $2,100.
Yeah.
And they'll pay only $400 of something that that the dentist thinks my daughter actually needs.
Can we just, a quick side note, also mention the fact that for some reason insurance companies pay less money than a regular person pays out of pocket? Like, the insurance company has special different rates.
Yeah.
What the
And you have to pay them. You have to pay them to keep them. or they take a certain amount of money out of your paycheck, like throughout the entire year, but they only pay very little, and then you have to spend a certain amount of money before they'll even start paying
With
towards
deductibles.
something.
Yeah.
Like I just the fact that we agree with it being absurd, but that's the way it is insane to me.
And I don't think there's anybody in this entire fucking country, unless they're like an owner of an insurance company, that doesn't think it's the dumbest shit ever and makes no sense and is completely convoluted. Did you ever see that clip of, I think it's Shane Gillis on a podcast, and he has Martin Scarelli on, the dude with the AIDS medicine price hike, and he says to him,
I know, Scarelli.
Yeah, he says to him, he's
didn't he just get out of jail or something?
I think he did just finally get out of jail, but he said to him, he was like, didn't you like take the price of an AIDS medication and raise it 3,000%? And he's just like, yeah. And he's like, I mean, isn't that kind of fucked up? And he's like, he's just like, no. And he like had some bullshit justification for it, like that made no sense. Oh, he said something like, what if your agent told you, we're going to charge 33 cents for tickets to your show tonight, and that's it. You're going to fill the house and we're going to make 33 cents per ticket. And he's like, yeah, but my comedy show isn't saving people's lives, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
The guy just like
even then, there's a large degree between like 33 cents and $100 or however much he was charging. Like there's a big, between that little bit, that's a huge gap.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. It was like, I don't remember the prices, but yeah, it was something like it went from like a few $100s to like a few $1,000.
Yeah, that gap is ridiculous.
So like I don't understand how other countries have this completely figured out, where drugs are affordable, things make sense. I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day about his medication, his asthma medications, and it's like $100 a month out of pocket for him with no insurance. And he said, and I was like, that's fucking so stupid. And he was like, it used to be 400. It's just like, okay.
Mind blown.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess it's not 400 anymore. I guess that's an improvement, but
like it forces people to just say, you know what, I'd sooner just suffer, or I would sooner die than spend all this money, because I can't afford it, because I have to spend money on everything else like bills.
Yeah. You think, I mean, we're specifically talking about medical insurance. How do you feel about other forms of insurance? Car.
Okay, so I have Liberty Mutual. Car insurance was great for me so far.
Yeah.
I've even gotten into an accident that I believe I was at fault for, but it wasn't a big accident. It was like I was backing up while the guy was pulling up.
Agreed.
At a parking lot. I was overly stressed. I bumped his car, and everything that was wrong with his car, he tried blaming on me.
So let's draw a line in the sand here. I guess we should clarify. We're really, our gripe is really with medical insurance companies, not necessarily.
Oh, because they all seem to be shitty in the same way. As like car insurance companies aren't necessarily all bad in the same way.
Right. And it's a little different. Car insurance companies, you don't have to get car insurance. Well, or do you? Do you have to have? You have to have.
You do have to have car insurance. At least I think in depending on the state you're in.
You have to have insurance for the other person. Like you don't have to necessarily have insurance on collision on your car. Like so, if your car gets fucked up, that's fine. But you just have to make sure if somebody else's car gets fucked up, you're covered. So but that makes sense. Like it makes sense.
You don't
to have
need life
like
insurance.
You don't need to. You're right. You don't need.
You don't need life insurance.
I mean, they're a little shady with their practices and stuff. But again, like you said, you don't need it. It's not something you have to get. Homeowners insurance is just like a safe thing to have. Makes sense.
A nightmare to deal with. A nightmare to deal with when you actually need them.
Right. You had. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast. You obviously had a shit time. But are you happy?
Still
that you
fighting
had
with
it?
them. Yeah, I'm happy I have it, but.
And again, okay, makes sense. Like
they all will try to weasel out of having to pay a certain amount, which I get it.
But makes
but it's not like everybody's having accidents all the time.
But nobody else should be responsible necessarily for damage to your house that occurs. You don't necessarily say. But again, back to medical or health insurance. Like it's not. It feels like something everybody should have access to and have a right to have. And the way they
Well,
do
as
it,
soon as health is involved, yeah.
and not only dental, why is vision separate too? Like, why are there separate?
You're right.
Why are there separate sects for vision and dental? They're just normal parts of your body that you think should be covered
That
under
are needed.
health insurance because you need them, and they're not. And the
My
insurances quote that they have for them are just bullshit. Like, they're not real insurance.
the insurance. When my daughter needed glasses, we spent like $1,000 on 2 pairs of glasses.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like bullshit
Why?
when you have it. It's not like, okay, you have a $25 copay if you have to go to the dentist, or
Yeah.
$25 copay if you have to go get glasses. It's like, oh, we'll pay 20% or some bullshit like that.
Like some really.
And my vision insurance isn't even that. It's like you go and you pay, and then you can like submit it to them, and then they'll pay some part of it back. So you still have to pay out of pocket for it and have the money to do it to begin with, which is even
it never made sense to me that you need money in order to have someone else spend money to help you.
Yeah, it's just
but you're also paying for them. You're also paying for them to help you. Again, I said that before, but I don't get it.
If we have any listeners that understand the idea behind why dental and vision are considered not normal health insurance stuff, please let us know. And I know we have listeners in other countries too, so I'd love your perspective on the way it works in America.
Yeah,
compared to
that'd be
the
really
way it
helpful.
works in your country, because I know we have listeners in Australia, England, Canada. Like,
I would just need an answer better than like the comment section of "Oh, you Americans suck." I need something better than that.
Yeah, no, like a real like. How do you feel about it in your country where you have health insurance covered? Is it better to have it that way? Do you think it would be, what are the pitfalls? Like, why is there any negatives to it? You hear about Canada,
that would be interesting
there's
too.
longer waiting times and stuff like that. But in some cases, I wouldn't mind. And I don't.
How much longer?
Because right now,
waiting times here are pretty bad.
Yeah, I just tried to make an appointment with a new rheumatologist, and it's in fucking August. It's 6 fucking months from now. So, and God forbid you try to find a psychiatrist or a therapist around here. You're not going to find anybody taking new patients for the most part because they're just all booked up, and there's just so few. I had to take my son fucking an hour and a half away for pediatric bone doctor. I forget what they're called, and I always say it wrong. So, like, it's not like it's great. It's not like it's great in our country, like where there's this awesome, readily available medical care. We just have to pay a little more for it. We have to pay for the insurance.
Yeah, it really isn't that much.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's bullshit. So yeah, insurance companies in general, for health insurance and stuff, are just complete fucking garbage. They're bullshit. It's ridiculous that they exist. They treat their customers like a product instead of like human fucking beings.
I can only imagine how it is for the elderly too.
Oh, it's even worse. I mean, think about once I know a little about this because I've worked with a couple lawyers that do elder care, and that's their specialty. And it's essentially when you get to a certain age where you need help, it costs a fucking buttload of money. No one's going to cover it, and their whole as lawyers, their whole thing is they help you get ready for it ahead of time, and they basically say you need to start 5 years out. Like, you can't wait. You have to start 5 years before you're going to need the help, because you have to do all this shit to basically get rid of all your assets, essentially, and make yourself. You essentially have to spend down to the point where you have nothing, and then the government will help you. And that's just absolutely fucking insane, where it's like, okay, well, you have some money. Well, you're going to pay thousands of dollars a month to have nursing care. God forbid you need in-home. It's going to cost you even more. And you're going to go broke doing it. You're going to lose your house, and your whole legacy is going to be gone just trying to take care of yourself in your old age. Which, I mean, it's good that people are living older than they used to. Or living older, living longer and getting to older ages than they used to, but nobody seems
some people see that as a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword, but nobody cares to figure out how to handle that. Like, okay, now that this is happening, and we know we're gonna have people that are much older with more frequent and more substantial medical needs. How do we handle this as a community, as a country, as a group? And we don't. We're just like, fuck them, you know.
No.
And it's kind of funny because the libertarian part of me is like, well, yeah, that's how it should be. The family and friends should figure out how to deal with that and blah blah. And then I'm like, no, but it doesn't work that way because they charge such crazy fucking amounts of money to do it.
Well, on top of that, it's mainly because the way the system already works. If it was like your ideal way things would work, fine, you'd be able to say the family, be able to figure it out and things like that. But that isn't how things are. So
right.
Put something in place.
Yeah, it's not affordable. I mean, back to my rabies incident, you know, when they told me in the hospital, like, we could give you the rabies shot, they're not going to cover it. Nobody's going to cover it, but we give it to you anyway, but it's going to cost like $6,000. Like, that's fucking nuts. And like, why is nobody covering that? Like, why would that not be covered?
You know, I remembered in time where like certain insurances, even like silly enough, like phone insurance, was you spend this extra amount of money a month, and you would, if you break your phone, they would give you a new one.
Yeah, but it's usually like, but you got to pay $100.
But now you have to. But now it's you have to pay X amount,
and then
after, and then we'll give you a new phone.
Yeah, so like, you're going to give us money, and so that if you break your phone, we'll give you a new phone. But then you got to give us more money if you break your phone.
Yeah, you're paying them to be on a reserve.
Yeah,
that's what you're paying for. You're not really paying for the service. You're paying for them to reserve your name just so they can allow you to do it.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
That's another way of milking money out of you. That's the indefinite way of milking money out of you. And then they pay that little bit more, and then you realize you're still going to pay off the original phone you broke.
Yes, you are.
While now paying for this new phone.
No, but it's not going to be a new phone. It's going to be a refurbished phone.
It's going to be a refurbished phone because that was a phone that was broken too.
Right. They're not going to give you a new phone. They're just going to give you someone else's broken phone that they tried to make better.
And God forbid if that one breaks somehow.
Well, then you're fucked. And it's funny. I have phone insurance because like 2 years ago, when one of the new Pixels came out, it was either 2 or 3 years ago now, I thought to myself, man, I don't like keeping a case and a screen protector on my phone. I'm going to get the insurance, and then I don't have to worry about it. I can't remember dropping my phone once in the past 10 years, and I've never damaged my phone. And then I got it, and you know what? My phone still has a case and a screen protector on it, even though I have the insurance, because I'm a fucking idiot. Why do I have the insurance? Yep. I might as well just cancel it at this point. Yeah. So, that's another shitty form of insurance, I guess. What other? Are there any other forms of shitty insurance? Like, there's so many. There's vacation insurance. If you don't.
Man.
Even events now. Like, you buy tickets for something. There's ticket insurance. So if you don't.
Like there was those weird insurance things like for your bags at airports.
That shouldn't be a thing. You're responsible for my fucking bags. If you fuck up, that's on you. Why am I paying you money to take care of the thing I'm paying you money to take care of?
Like, I was shocked when I saw that.
I'm going to pay you a bunch of money so that I can get on a plane, and that includes bringing my bags with me. But you want me to pay you more money?
The one carry-on.
Fuck up and lose my bags that I already paid to have on the plane. You want more money to, take care of, mitigate that. Oh my God. Oh my, there's so many fucking things popping up. I guess it's just like you said, it's just a way to milk more money out of people. And 90% of the time, I'm like, I don't need that.
Within our lifetime, there will be restaurant insurance.
For what?
There will be an insurance just in case you choke in the restaurant or you don't like the food. You would have to pay.
They'll give you the money back.
Yeah, they won't give you the money back.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to give you the money back.
They'll give you a voucher for
a
meal.
Give you a voucher
at a different time at the same restaurant.
You'll get a free bloomin' onion or something.
Yeah, no, you're right. You know what? I paid for when we went on vacation this past summer. I think I paid for the vacation insurance because I was just like, well, what if one of us gets COVID or something happens? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just ate that money. That was just money for free for them.
Yep.
Because we ended up going and everything was fine.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened. But it's a tough argument because it's one of those situations.
Well, they don't take responsibility. They're saying, well, no, you have to pay us to be responsible, or you're going to pay us to feel secure.
Right.
Because even if something does happen, they're only taking partial responsibility. Not as in like we're responsible for you doing this thing. It's, hey, you're paying us to render another service
Right.
that we don't normally do. So it's not going to be the best service,
True.
but we'll render this to you.
I mean, my wife and I both have life insurance policies, and I don't know what the term is, but I hope I'm still living when the term's up. And I'm just thinking, like, all that fucking money that we're gonna spend on it. Although I think when we did our life insurance policies, it actually they pay out. If you get to the end of the term, they actually pay out and like give you back the money.
I thought it was
something like
if
that.
I remember correctly, I thought it was a percentage of the money.
Well, I don't think they don't give you like the amount the policies for, but I
it could be in one lump sum with a percentage loss, or it can be in payments.
Well, if I remember, I feel like it was like all of the money you paid us, we will give you back because they've made tons of money on that money because they're collecting interest on it.
Interest.
So they're okay just saying it may be a percentage, but so it's not like a total loss, but still, I don't know.
Is there a type of insurance for like stock like investing in stock?
That's a good question. We were literally just talking about that and how little I have no experience in.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm just wondering because that just seems like something that you would need insurance on.
I don't know, man, but I may go buy some Nvidia stock. I may actually do that. I may see if it dips a little bit and then buy it in a dip, and then just hang on to it for a bit, see if it continues to grow, because like it's true. I mean, all these AI companies they need the chips.
Yeah, so let me know where that goes.
I'm thinking about it. I would never. Well, I never. When I do it, it's like a little. It's like no.
No, it's gonna be like
my wife would kill me if I put any.
Oh no, I feel the exact same way. That's why I won't do it, but I want to know.
But like a little bit.
If I'm gonna feel jealous or not.
Just a little bit, just to get a taste. Maybe I'll take my crypto money and I'll move it to Nvidia stock instead.
I feel like crypto's gonna die very soon. It's just a weird feeling I have. Like it's still gonna be around, but it's just. It's going to be play money. I mean, that's essentially what it is.
Well, it's already kind of turned in. That's what. I mean, it's already.
It's all monopoly money.
It's taken a deep dive from its peak a couple years ago, where it was really people were really into it, and our friend Rock was so into it. He was like, "Oh, Cardano is going to be the national currency of some country in Africa," and I was like, "So?"
I would not want that.
Well, I was just like, okay, it's not like fucking France is using it. It was just some random country in Africa that I hadn't heard of.
It has to be. It unfortunately has to be like either a tourist area, like if Hawaii picked it up.
Sure, yeah.
That would mean something.
And I don't think I bought some Cardano, and I think I've got like the same amount. I don't think I've lost anything, but I don't think I've gained anything either. It's just sitting there. But I don't know. It might be a good idea. Maybe I'll buy Nvidia stock with that money, because it's free money at this point. I consider it free money, even though it's real money. To me, it's just this nebulous money that's nobody. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't really mean anything
because it all came from Doge.
Unless you have a substantial gain.
Like it literally all came from Doge. I bought a bunch of Doge and then it went crazy high, and then I sold it right before.
Oh yeah,
right before
you did the
Elon,
smart thing.
Well, because Elon was going to be on Saturday Night Live, and so many people were like, "Oh, it's going to just blast off at that point," and I was like, "No, it's not." So I sold it right before he was on SNL, and right after he was on SNL, it just tanked. Which I think was because everybody started buying it, which is causes it to go down because there's too much demand, and there's a lot of demand for it, and there's plenty of supply because it's Doge, so it's just not worth as much because people are now buying it.
Too much. It's out there now.
I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. I'm not making any sense. Insurance companies suck.
Give us your insurance stories.
Yeah.
You've ever had to deal with.
Yeah. Give us your insurance story. Oh man. I mean, I'm pretty fortunate now because our insurance isn't that bad. My wife is a teacher, so we have state insurance. It's pretty decent. And I'm glad.
Yeah, so do we.
I mean, I'm glad that Obamacare put in place decent insurance companies because, like even my brother, like he had to get insurance through the marketplace, and he has really good insurance. through the New York State marketplace through Obamacare. Like he's got great insurance too. So, and it's not expensive at all. He pays very little for it. So, I mean, I guess that's good. But yeah, if you guys have insurance stories, nightmare stories, which I'm sure exist, dude, we got the hospital bill for when my son was in the hospital with pneumonia, and
Yeah.
it was like $20,000 or $30,000, and all I could think of was like, Jesus goddamn Christ, if we didn't have insurance, could you imagine? And that's the insurance cost too, right? So they probably
Yeah.
would have been more if it was out of pocket.
You get charged for every doctor that sees that child, even if it's just like a glance.
Well, and they talk about how, a Tylenol is $10.
Mm-hmm.
But like the idea of my son being in agony and I bring him there and not having insurance, and I guess they treat him, but now I'm all of a sudden 30, 40, whatever grand in debt.
Yep.
Is fucked. Like that's so fucking wrong. It shouldn't, especially a
That's
kid. We're talking
that's a
about
whole mafia mindset.
I know,
Like,
we're
that's
talking
insane.
about a child. Like a child, nobody should have to be in a hole that much money to make sure their child is in good health. Like it's sick. It's sick.
Like, we don't think of the many things that drove a lot of our parents insane. Like, we think, the kid just being bad is a thing that drives you insane. No,
Sure.
no. So you understand, having your kids on your insurance will also drive you insane.
Yeah.
The amount of money that you would have to spend if, like, especially those families that didn't even have to deal with that, and it was just like, if somebody in this house gets sick, we're in the hole for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, that is a terrible thing to worry about, and then you worry about it, and then you get sick because you're worrying about it, but you don't go to the doctor because you can't afford to go to the doctor.
No.
So you just get more sick, or you try to get over it, and then you start getting like all these different symptoms from being sick,
Yeah,
and it
something
just
else goes
keeps
wrong.
going and going and
All of a
going,
sudden
and
you
by
have
that
sepsis,
point,
and then you're dead.
yep, or insane,
Or insane.
completely insane.
Yeah, I'm curious if anybody has a counterpoint. I think most of the people that are listening to this probably lean a little left, but if anybody has a counterpoint as to, like I said, why you're okay,
Counterpoints help.
why you're okay with paying teachers to teach and watch our kids all day, and paying police officers to keep the streets safe, but you draw the line at paying doctors to make sure we're healthy. Please explain that to me. I'd like to know why there's a difference, or if anybody. I don't know how any sane person, I don't want to say that because I don't want to ostracize somebody if they have a different opinion, but I don't see how anybody could feel that way. So if you feel that way,
Yeah.
let us know.
It's not even about ostracizing. It's more so like to get another, even if we disagree with it, to get another perspective.
Yeah, I want to, I think
because
just
it's
fine.
fine.
I do want to clarify that for us on the podcast. Joaquime and I both, like, even if we think your point is insane, we're more than willing to discuss it and talk about it. Like, we're not those kind of people that are just going to be like, oh, fuck you, you're a fucking idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. Nah, we're more than willing to entertain anybody's point of view, no matter how ridiculous it may be.
Yeah, absolutely.
To us. In fact, we kind of like it. I mean, something that we
I don't think our egos are really that.
No, egos? Us?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Egos? What's the opposite of an ego?
Anti-ego? I don't know.
Let's see. Hey, let's see. Opposite of an ego. Opposite: humility, humbleness, modesty. Modest. No, that doesn't go far enough.
No.
The anti-ego. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah, just the anti-ego.
The anti-ego.
Where it's not like we don't like ego. Our egos exist, but it's not
ego-less. Ego-less. We're egoless.
Experiencing ego death. No. I am the ego death.
Altruism is the opposite of egoism. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Really?
Either.
Yeah. I'm not 100% altruistic at all.
Yeah, no. Well,
I'm sincere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I try to be
I'm not
sincere.
gonna go that far either. Anyway,
but I'm not cutting off my nose to help anybody.
We have
that I don't know.
Agreed. We have discussed a lot of topics and asked for a lot of feedback on this episode. So if you want to give it to us, I suggest you go over to our website, where you can find that website is at this URL.
ATIWIHY.com.
I'm gonna do that again.
ATIWIHY.com.
So people know it's ATIWIHY.com. Or
That
and that is
plays
why I hate you.com.
randomly in my head, by the
It's
way.
a good ditty. Thanks, Justin. And that is why I hate you.com also works. I just thought ATIWIHY.com was easier to remember. Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't when you say it. It's like
Yeah.
ATIWIHY.com.
It's a lot
Wow,
of
that's a
letters.
mouthful.
Yeah, a lot of letters is probably less easy to remember than just several words. And that is why I hate you. It's not that hard to remember at all. But it's a well-named podcast, I think. We hate everybody.
Equally.
Equally.
With no ego.
Yeah. With no Okay, all right. Oh, man. I always have fun when we record. Joaquime's drumming. Guitar solo. Turn the rock out.
I hate you.
Peace.
Later.